Hey, you guys, welcome back to Shop Talk, the world's sexiest episode for now. And it's a special sex because Scott Simpson is not here. He's on a very important fishing trip down for the Bonita Run. He's down with Mike and Derek and all the very important people. And yes, Bonita are trophy fish, so they're pretty big. Scott,
I don't know how many Christmas parties is too much for family gatherings, but I'm gonna guess that you're going to too many this week. Too many. If you're foregoing chalk block for a family Christmas party, I just don't. That doesn't add up in my head. I'd be ditching that party in no time to come and join us. But that being said, I'm not joined by Scott Simpson. I am joined by the GIF warlord himself. That's Craig with K. Wreath, Roto Heat himself. He's got more headshots than I had back when I was playing 007 GoldenEye on N64. He's got probably a whole album of just headshots of all of our famous friends from the Thieves.
I do. It's kind of interesting. They don't actually let you sort them, so you got to just try to memorize where they are and search for them, which is sort of a pain, but it's fun.
It's really fun, and I'm sure you have some queued up, and you're gonna drop some on us here, but it's okay because I'm okay because you have some really good ones of me. Like, you have good headshots. Like, I look good in a beanie. That's why I'm wearing a beanie tonight. And you have my main one. It's in, and then you got one from that one day I had a mustache. I mean, what more could I ask for? That the GIF warlord has got a bunch of really nice, flattering pictures of me that he can put on awesome GIFs.
Yeah, it's the Mount Rushmore of bow headshots we have to make all sorts of GIFs. And I think Scott just figures after winning 2 weeks in a row against you in your head-to-head matchup that he could take the week off and just get another win. I think it's gone to his head here a little bit. So.
Yeah, he was basically gift wrapped his victory last week because I had more snow. Basically, I had enough snowflakes to have Yuko and Cornelius trying to capture me. 9 starting positions, I had 6 snowflakes. I didn't even break 100 with my lineup, so I had no shot. It was gift wrapped, ready to go. So now I don't have to buy him anything. I was thinking about getting him something. I was thinking about getting him something for Christmas, but I think week 14 was enough.
Yeah. It's always fun to see you guys go back and forth in there and then sort of pay attention to the results of it. And I think he's just trying to make it close for the end of the year. But you got to lay the hammer down this week on him.
Well, we have 4 weeks left in the regular season. Then we do pretty much every round of the playoffs through the Super Bowl. So he's got room to catch up. Okay. He's got room to catch up. But I think what usually happens this time of year is I just get sharper and he gets lazier, hence him taking the week off. And I just think that he's going to start to see the really big point totals pop up here because this main slate looks pretty. I mean, it looks pretty sparse. Like you're not exactly thrilled to see many of these games up here. It's hard to say what the best games are going to be. I mean, looking at this, we don't really have a whole lot of games that are even going to be high scoring projected. There's not a single game on the main slate here that's projected or expected over 50 points. And I can't remember the last time I saw that. We have 11 games, starting with Jacksonville and Houston. Craig, this game might not be the most fun to watch, but I think for fantasy and especially DFS, we got all kinds of good fantasy performances that could come from this game. And 39.5, I'm going to take the over and then some on this game.
Yeah, I would too. And, we've seen it before with teams that have just been garbage throughout the year. If they make a coaching change, it sort of reinvigorates them, at least for 1 week. And the offense for the Jaguars isn't short on talent. I think it's been how they've been used and sort of just having to deal with that coach. I'm not saying they're going to go out and, win out the rest of the year or anything like that, but they're able to do more than they've shown this year. And I do think that's a lot to do, not mostly with Urban Meyer. So I am expecting guys to be more relevant on that offense, whether it's, mainly James Robinson we're thinking, but even some of those pass catchers like Marvin Jones. We saw it a little bit last week, but I think he's capable of doing that week in and week out without that sort of nonsense head coach involved and just giving
Nonsense,
everybody problems.
The lightest way to call somebody a moron.
I'm trying to be.
I don't mince words when it comes to Urban Meyer. Fuck that guy. Fuck Urban Meyer. You're a piece of shit human being. You had no business being an NFL head coach. Shad Khan, you're a moron for hiring him. So yeah, you didn't make it through a whole season. I predicted that as soon as he was hired, I was like, he's not lasting a full season, and it's just because the guy has no idea how to treat people with dignity and respect in the first place. He just got away with it because college kids are like, hey, man, he could pull my scholarship if I talk back. It's like you can kick a kicker in college because he's probably not going to report you. In the pros, when everybody's getting paid over on the table instead of under the table, it makes a huge difference because even that kicker that's making $2 million a year and is making less than the head coach, he's not going to let you kick him while he's warming up and calling him a dipshit. Like that doesn't compute. It's like you can't treat people like animals at any level, but especially in the NFL when everybody's got their own pride and their professionalism on the line at the same time. It's like this guy's a buffoon and he'll never get an NFL job again. And it's going to take a while before a college has a leap of faith to give him their program.
Yeah, and with the way college is changing now, even with so much more of the power going to the players' hands is what they can earn. They can earn money and a lot of money in some cases. They're not going to put up, I don't think, as many of them with this crap either. To your point, in the NFL, no one's going to put up with that. And in college, I think you're going to see a switch too, where these kids are going to be a little bit empowered more with what's going on, and they aren't going to need him like that either. So I think the time for him in college, he will get another shot at some point. I can't imagine it going that well with the way things are changing in this last stint in the NFL. So,
yep, that's exactly right. Darrell Bevell is the interim head coach. He's the offensive coordinator. He's made a couple stops along the way in Detroit and Minnesota. Hasn't been good anywhere. He's been pretty much to blame for their offensive woes because even though it's Urban Meyer's system, Darrell Bevell's the one calling the shots there. There's no way that Urban Meyer does anything during the course of a game. We've seen that where we don't really know what Urban Meyer did other than to pretty much throw everybody under the bus for it being their fault because he didn't do anything during the game.
Yep.
So J-Rob is he's going to be the chalk ownership type guy here. 22% projected. That's really high for somebody at 5,400. It's not impossible. I think I'll probably measure my exposure to J-Rob because I do want some pieces of him, but I'll probably try to keep it under that 22%. I'll probably go one out of every 5 lineups. I'll have J-Rob in there. Is there anybody else in this game that you're thinking might be a good value?
Value-wise, if we think that they are going to be scoring points in this game, I think they're going to end up having more passing for the Texans than maybe we're used to. And the running back position, whether it ends up being David Johnson or Royce Freeman, I think last week he had a really nice week PPR-wise with the receptions that he had. He could be a nice play. And I think he's someone more that they might use more than David Johnson because everyone kind of knows what they have in David Johnson. It's a lost season. Why not see what they have in Freeman more if he's a guy that they want to keep around for another year? So if you're looking for value, I do like him.
It's amazing that they've come to playing Royce Freeman, who used to be he's one of my favorite Oregon Ducks of all time. I'm a lifelong Oregon Ducks fan. He's one of my favorite players when he was with the Ducks. But as a professional, he really hasn't developed into anything special. He's bounced around a lot the last couple of years after just being basically thrown away in Denver. The fact that the Houston Texans signed so many free agent running backs in the offseason and they still ended up coming to another mid-season acquisition in Royce Freeman to start this game or to at least be a swing player in this game. It's a testament to pretty much how destroyed both of these franchises are. Houston is in shambles still with their front office. And the Jags are, these two teams are both at the basement of the NFL for talent and just management. But I think you're onto something with the passing game because one of my favorite DFS quarterback values is Davis Mills. And I'm a Pac-12 guy. I watch every Pac-12 game there is. he never really impressed me at Stanford. He had some decent games, but he was hurt a lot his junior year. His senior year, he had a decent season, got himself drafted. But as a professional, the dude has shown some chops. He's got 3 games over 20 fantasy points. He went over 300 yards last week, which was over 20 fantasy points against Seattle, who's not a great defense, but better than the defense he's going to see tomorrow. I think Davis Mills is going to be a great points per dollar quarterback at 5,400. And even though Trevor Lawrence is 5,100, I just don't know that Darrell Bevell's going to give him the keys. It's really, that's one thing I don't see happening. Is last week really kind of showed that if you give the keys to Trevor Lawrence and you have this white rice vanilla system that they've been putting out there all season, it's not going to end well because these defenses pick up on tape really quick of what you're trying to do to him. Davis Mills has been doing that. He did that to the New England Patriots defense, and that impressed me enough to kind of keep that in the back of my mind for this kind of game where he's going to face a really bad defense, and he's got some decent weapons out there. Niko Collins has been a surprise player the last few weeks, and of course Brandon Cooks is a stud.
Yeah, and even earlier in the season when they played, Davis Mills didn't play in that game. Trevor Lawrence did have a nice game, but to your point, that was early on when maybe I think they still had a little bit of hope for their season.
And there was nothing on tape yet. Nobody had any clue what the Jags were going to do.
And he still threw 3 picks, I think, in that game. So,
yikes.
But that was with probably a better receiving core than he has right now. And to your point, both teams are just a complete mess, and it makes me wonder how much incentive they both really feel to win this game, given that they're both, I think, at 2-11, and it can matter down the road here for draft pick capital.
Yeah, I mean, there's some pieces of this game that I want to sprinkle in, like Niko Collins, Laviska Shenault, been a pretty low ceiling cut type guy all season. He's not giving me enough hope for that ceiling game that I'm looking for in DFS. For season long, he's been okay to ride the bench, but I'm not seeing much here. Laquan Treadwell, I'm not a huge fan. So Niko Collins has the upside with his size and speed combination. And then Brevin Jordan, he's been pretty impressive. He was my tight end 3 coming out of this draft class behind Freiermuth and, of course, Kyle Pitts. But, Jordan's been a great red zone asset for Davis Mills. And if you want a really cheap stack or a cheap double stack, you can go with a Niko Collins, Brevin Jordan stack, or even just throwing Cooks with Jordan. And that would give you a lot of upside and a lot of flexibility to go elsewhere with the big money studs in some of these higher scoring games.
So I think you said too earlier, just as we're going through this now for DraftKings, I think they took off 2 of the games. So are we only looking at 9 games for the main slate this week then?
It is, let's see.
Because the
Rams game is not there. It got moved. And then what's the other one?
Philly, Washington at the other end.
Yeah, that's right. Philly, Washington got moved to Tuesday. So these last 2 we're not gonna come up on because we have a 9-game main slate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you're right. 9 games. 2 of the games got moved down later in the week for postponement. Washington, Philly. Good job, Washington. You can't get anything right. You're just horrible at everything you do.
For years.
What a terrible franchise. Hey, and speaking of Washington, my guy Robbie's here.
What up, guys? Can you hear me?
We were just talking about how awesome it was that Washington had all these positive cases and got their shit moved to Tuesday or Monday or whatever the hell it was, just so they could stomp by Philly on a different day.
I heard you fuckers. It ain't getting stopped by Philly. Knock off that nonsense.
No, I'm sure it'll be a great ball game for somebody to battle for 3rd place in the division.
No, we'll be fine. We're getting that wild card spot. We're gonna hold down what we got going on right now. Don't worry.
And this is Rumboys Robbie, everyone. This is the founder, the owner, the dilly master himself. Rumboys Fantasy Network, 32-bit. It's a vibe. Give me all that. Give me all that Rumboys Robbie. I want that brand. That brand, dude.
Cheers to me. Cheers to you. Shout the whole Chop Block crew. That just warmed me up. Let's do this. All righty.
You gotta say some shit about Scott though before you get started.
Scott is a wonderful human being who just is gonna lose at DFS tomorrow.
You're correct.
That's what I have to say about Scott. But no, you guys should listen to Scott. He has amazing DFS analysis. So
yeah. So we're moving on to the Tennessee-Pittsburgh game. This game, I think, is going to be a little bit lower scoring. We got some pretty decent defenses, especially on the front seven. If we see any kind of passing attack, it might come from Pittsburgh. Ben Roethlisberger hasn't been that bad lately. He still looks bad, but the stat line hasn't been that bad. Deontay Johnson, bona fide stud. Najee Harris, bona fide stud. Not much help around him, though. Chase Claypool, not that good of a person, but he's been playing pretty decent. The least friendly Canadian in history is Chase Claypool.
Yo,
like every other Canadian I've met has been like, "Oh, sorry there," and like Chase Claypool is like pointing first downs with 10 seconds left in the game, and
like being known as like the worst Canadian ever, like that within itself has to blow.
Oh, come on, he's not the worst Canadian
he had
ever.
Such a great rookie season, 11 touchdowns. He had the great nickname Mapletron. He went to Notre Dame, so you think he's pretty smart, and then he just doesn't play smart. I don't get it.
Jeff Trudeau is disappointed.
I bet.
I don't know how I feel about this Titans game. I mean, this team is slowly getting healthier. They definitely need to pull something out. Give me Tennessee just because the Pittsburgh is too wishy-washy, and plus I want to piss off Raj. So
and plus Pittsburgh's defense has been trashed the last few weeks. Like we're talking gash on the run, they're getting beat deep. Think about Ryan Tannehill and a Julio Jones stack that nobody will freaking have. Think about that. Think about the upside value of that leverage play there, where everybody's gonna be on a different game.
It's definitely contrarian. Going with the stack like that. I mean, personally, I wouldn't do it.
Julio Jones 6%. It's still Julio Jones at 5,400.
Yeah, but it's like no, I'm not doing that to myself. Like
I'm just a true degenerate, like whack a job here because that just shines to me. I just want that. I want that to happen for Julio because I already called a couple of weeks ago when Julio comes back from the IR, he's gonna be a league winner. And last week he was meh.
Yeah, and I think that's I think Julio personally. I think Julio's at like at the tail end of his career. Like I think he's at the ass of his career. Like for real. Like.
Well, yeah, for sure. He's 34 years old, but man,
yeah.
He's still got that inside of him. He's only a year different from Aj Green, and Aj Green's balling out, and he's going to ball out tomorrow too. So I'm thinking Julio's got some gas in the tank. He's still got plenty of ability. He's not exactly the player he once was.
If I'm let's say I'm only putting in like one line. I'm like okay, like I need this one to hit. That would not be a move that I'm making. But if I'm building like a couple of hundred, sure, give me the stat.
Of course. That's all we're talking about here. Is like what percentage do I want that stack in? Maybe 5% of my lineups. I want that to be a thing. Like I want to put that in the ether out there. I want to put that in the universe that Tannehill to Julio Jones against the Steelers is a nice little leverage play with a lot of sneaky upside.
Joe Hayden also just got back on the practice field for the first time in what feels like forever for Pittsburgh yesterday. So, I mean, there's still no guarantee that he's even going to play. And if you look at that depth chart, that secondary at cornerback is just gross. So, I mean, they aren't going to have anyone that's going to be able to stop them.
So Hayden and Julio are going to be dueling it out in wheelchairs, basically.
Well, if Hayden plays, yeah.
Freaking the geriatric bowl is what we'll call it. Fucking the senior home bowl.
But Lieutenant Dan, you ain't got no legs.
Julio ain't got no damn legs. Oh gosh. Oh shit.
Naji Harris, this is a tough matchup for him. 7,800 is a little rich for my blood, especially at 21% projected ownership. Tennessee loves to stuff the run. Naji, the volume is there. Like you can play Naji in cash pretty comfortably if you have the salary, but I think this is kind of that spin down on running backs week. What do you guys think?
I don't. I'm never a fan of spending down. Actually, that's usually the position that I spend up.
This guy here that I'm highlighting, Dante Foreman, I think he's going to outscore Najee tomorrow.
I fucking love that take. I love that take. Ladies and gentlemen, jot that down in your notepad.
You want to talk about leverage? Everybody in the world loves Naji Harris, myself included. He's a product of Northern California, like myself. He's a Roll Tide alum, like my wife loves, because she loves the Bama. She loves the Bama. But Dante Foreman, the Tennessee Titans are that Mike Vrabel, Belichick disciple system. They love to mash the rock right in your face, and they love a guy like Dante Foreman, and it shows with the amount of carries that they've been giving him the last 2 weeks.
Him and Hilliard. Like, I'm willing to even pay down at 49 for Hilliard. Like, I think that could be a fucking play too. Like, for sure. That's sexy right there. I like that.
Because Najee's going to have a lot of tough trucking. He's only averaging 4 yards a carry overall, and that's on the low side when you're facing the front seven like the Titans have.
I agree.
You got yourself a couple good receivers, of course, Deontay, Claypool, Ray McLeod. Yeah, this receiver core is pretty trash.
That receiver core is trash. You're not.
Nick Westbrook-Akina doesn't blow my skirt up anymore.
Oh, yeah, no.
Pat Freiermuth, not bad.
You always buy Pat Fry.
Yeah.
You always buy Pat Fry. Like that is your DFS darling.
The amount of red zone volume that this dude gets makes me so sad, because you have Kyle Pitts running wide open in Atlanta every week, running his 4-4 into open space, and Matt Ryan simply doesn't have the time to get him the ball. And in the red zone, it's non-existent. Like I think Kyle Pitts has just as many red zone targets this season as I have.
I'm gonna keep it real.
Pat Freiermuth is second in the NFL in red zone targets, guys.
Yeah, and DK is just being completely disrespectful on the pricing at 4.5. So you're getting Pat Fry.
That's a great value. And you don't need to stack him with anybody. This game isn't going to have enough total to go and game stack this. This is not the hill to die on as a game stack. But Pat Freiermuth in your tight end spot at 45 is a very nice option, especially coming in at 4% expected. Everybody's off him because you got those nice shiny guys at the top, Mark Andrews and George Kittle. There's more leverage for you guys.
And the thing is going back to what you mentioned about the whole stacking thing with Pat Fry. A Big Ben Pat Fry stack is not going to get you first place. You're playing for first place. Yep. Like you're playing for the big gamble. Yeah, exactly.
You're trying to min cash in DFS, and that's why we use this tool here from Run the Sims. This is the Slate Walk. The Slate Walk, brought to you by Run the Sims. This is the advanced tools. We are logged in here behind the paywall, but to get an account on Run the Sims is completely free. To get all these color-coded projections, projected ownership, optimal rate. That's the percentage of all the simulations that these guys run. We're talking about Deontay Johnson is coming in the optimal lineup 18% of the time. That's why he's in light green. Yep. The darker the green, the better the number. And then boom rate is actually in red, and that's 44% boom rate. The higher the boom rate, the better. Obviously, you don't want to bust. You want to boom. You got projected ceiling. You got all kinds of these color-coded rates here. My favorite one here is optimal leverage. We're talking about a play that he's gonna be optimal 6.6% of the time more than he's rostered. That's a really nice little derivative figure that you can get, where it's like, okay, he's going to be rostered in 3% of the lineups, but he's going to be optimal in 9.6 of the best lineups, which means his leverage is high. That's Chase Claypool. So the higher the optimal leverage, that's what I like to look at in most of these games, especially for GPP.
If you have OCD like I do, Run the Sims for you. Run the Sims for you.
This is so much fun because color coding makes me happy. It's pleasing to the eye, and it gives you useful data for GPPs. Shout out Run the Sims. They are awesome. Are you guys ready to move on to Arizona, Detroit?
Well, dude, yes. Christian Kirk everywhere.
Be sure.
I'm a weird Christian Kirk fanatic, dude. It's I think that's the next auto.
I'm a big fan of Christian Kirk in Dynasty, but
Same.
on a 1 week basis, I'm not sure. I think AJ Green has the better pathway to getting it.
Yeah, now at D Hop, like 100%.
Look at that 22% projected figure for Christian Kirk. I don't like it.
Yeah, I feel
5,300. He's too cheap. AJ Green is even cheaper, and he's only pulling 10%. He's not coming in too many of the optimal lineups, which does concern me a little bit. But I just don't think Detroit is going to be able to stop Arizona whatsoever. Arizona's pissed off. They just lost to the Rams at home. They're really pissed off. They don't want to lose another game. They don't even want it to be close. They're sick of hanging around. They want to win this division, and they're going to have to pretty much win out to win that Western division and get a chance at the top seed. I think they're just going to obliterate the Lions and leave no trace of doubt.
And James Conner's the real deal. He's the real deal. Like all the crap that Steelers fans were talking on him in previous years. Nah, like he's the real deal. So I like
18%. Don't be afraid of 18% when the guy's only 6,400, and we know he can pop off multiple touchdowns in every game. Especially, we're talking about the Detroit freaking Lions here.
Ew. Did I tell you that when I first started my career, I ever tell you guys I once got a email from PETA back in 2018 for making a joke about the Detroit Lions?
Oh my God. I didn't know that.
yeah. Oh, Frank Gore just got knocked out. Oh, wow. Sorry, I'm also watching boxing.
Who got knocked out?
Frank Gore. Darren Williams just knocked.
Darren Williams knocked out Frank Gore.
Like out of the ring. Like,
oh
wow. Sorry. Okay.
It's all right.
Darren Williams, man. I wouldn't like. Darren Williams was a rough and tumble guy in the NBA. Nobody was messing with him in the league. So, I mean, Frank Gore is like ageless, but nobody really told me that he was going to have that fiery passion to be boxing.
No, bro. I'm sorry. I did not mean for us to get distracted.
No, it's fine. I love boxing too.
I like Zach, or the option for Zach Ertz, but going back to how we were talking about Pat Fry, I feel like that's the avenue of approach that you take at tight end. I don't know if I'm willing to roster tomorrow Zach Ertz. If I know I can go with the Pat Fry, even if I could pay up for like a Hawkinson or something or the other.
And James Conner here is showing a pretty neutral optimal leverage figure here because he's going to be popping up in 16.3% of those optimal lineups according to Run the Sims at 18% roster. That's pretty close to the even money there. I think his base projection is actually kind of low for Run the Sims. I think Conner is going to be going from 20 to 22. That's be my projection. So I'm big on James Conner this week, and he's not picking up quite as much popularity because of the return of Chase Edmonds. And I'm not on Edmonds this week yet.
With his return, if this ends up being some sort of blowout, they're not just going to hammer Conner the whole game for the sake of hammering. Do you think Chase Edmonds gets something, maybe not, for DFS, but for fantasy wise, do you think you'd end up finding value in Chase Edmonds at all? Or are you off him for his first week back?
Because in mop-up duty, they're not going to throw the guy out there that just came off the IR either. So it's going to be still Conner, and then Benjamin's probably going to get mop-up duty because he's not any good, but he's at least a fresh body that's not going to be jeopardizing their health for the playoffs. I still think it's a huge James Conner game. Detroit can't stop the run. They just they try really hard. Like this team is A+ participation trophy with Dan Campbell running the show, but man, they're terrible. Like this defense is atrocious, and it's high effort, low production defense. You hate to see it, but it is what it is.
Because they have no personnel.
No, they're terrible. Their roster is depleted completely on defense.
It's a bunch of young guys on the defensive line for the most part, and linebackers they haven't found anyone.
Well, and all their good corners are hurt, so good luck.
On the Detroit side, do you like Amon-Ra as a PPR target here?
Amon-Ra is interesting because he's going to be a steady guy. But this is a really nice bright green number here. Optimal leverage at 10.5%, which means he's showing up in a good amount of the optimal lineups, and he's only going to be picked up 2% of the rosters tomorrow. So yeah, as a nice little piece there to get away from your popular Cardinals options. That's a pretty nice option there. So Amon-Ra's been balling out. The Sun God is for real. He's the best talent-wise, best wide receiver to come out of USC since Robert Woods. That's my opinion. There's been a few since him. Michael Pittman's another one of them, but Amon-Ra St. Brown's got all kinds of talent.
Amon-Ra, ooh la 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 la, stuck in a bad offense.
That'll all be different when Drake London hits the league next year because that dude's an absolute freak.
Monster. They just, I don't know what Detroit means. I'm not playing any Lions in any lineups. Period. Like I don't like the hundreds that I'm gonna submit. Like I'm just not. Yeah. Like it's awesome that like you're gonna have something different that no one else out there is gonna be playing. But is it gonna hit for you? I don't think so. Like I don't know if it's gonna hit for you.
I mean, Kyler Murray might be too chalky. That scares you because what if Arizona just runs it down their throat and they don't need to toss the ball around? They don't need to roll Kyler Murray out and run around and get hurt. Like this is the type of game where Kyler Murray could completely go off, but if he doesn't, and you're paying $7,900 for a guy who doesn't do that, then you're screwed. Like you are absolutely screwed with the amount of ownership he's going to have tomorrow.
I think Kyler's gonna go off. I mean, it's Detroit, it's practice for them. So like they'll probably try out a couple of plays that to get them ready for the playoffs. It's practice, So I like the Kyler play.
You can do better though. You can do better than Kyler this week, because especially with the value. Josh Allen here in the next game. Carolina is looking worse by the week. Like this team is falling apart. Like really, it's baffling how well they started to where they are now with no Joe Brady. Sam Darnold might come back. Cam Newton came back. He was back and he was terrible. And he lost his job twice. He got benched for PJ Walker, who's also not good, despite being the XFL MVP. We're talking about it. This is just woof. Like
they've talked about a QB split, even haven't they? With like a platoon with using both of those guys.
They were talking about using all three of them because Sam Darnold is due to come back from his shoulder injury. This is a whole lot of mess. They don't even know what they're doing down in Carolina.
You can't run an offense like that. You have to have consistency. Don't roster any of these quarterbacks in DFS tomorrow, guys. It's too risky.
Josh Allen's the one guy I'm really confident in. Carolina's pass defense is pretty solid. They're great on the outside. So Stephon Diggs, I don't think this is the week for him. If you want to go Gabriel Davis or somebody like that, just to throw it out in left field, this game just seems like a trap to me where Buffalo's just going to keep it close to the vest. And we're going to see a lower scoring game. 44, I think, is pretty appropriate, actually. But Buffalo, I don't think they're going to shut Carolina down. There's too much talent with DJ Moore and everybody else on that offense to get shut out. But that's basically what they're saying here. They're saying 22-12. Or
let me check what the spread is on that game.
It's 12.5 Buffalo. They're basically saying 32-12 or 22 to 28 to, I can't do the math in my head.
That's
it's bad.
Yeah,
bad for Carolina.
I don't think that's going to happen from a betting standpoint. I don't think that's going to happen. A double digit blowout like oh gosh, and Buffalo hasn't looked that great yet. Like they're a -720 favorite.
28-16 is the implied total.
I would take Buffalo.
Yeah, I would definitely take Buffalo, and probably take the under on that. But I mean, with that being said, give me Gabe Davis. I'm not feeling a gigantic Stephon Diggs day. I'm feeling a Gabe Davis day though. I think so that'll be the matchup where you're sitting back and you're expecting, your elite guys to go off. And in reality, it's going to be like a 2 or a 3 that's really going to have a bulk of the points in that game.
Yeah, and I think Josh Allen's probably going to have like 2 or 3 rushing touchdowns or something like that. And
sounds about right.
Yeah, they're going to run the rock. And I think Josh Allen's the one guy you can definitely count on in this game. And he's showing up 13.9% of the optimal lineups. That's a really high number for a quarterback. Yeah, and I just think that Josh Allen's he's always a good play. I mean, when do you say, yeah, I don't think I'm going to play Josh Allen this week? It never happens.
No, you want the Konami style of the Konami effect in your lineups.
Yes.
So guys like Josh Allen, the Kylers, I definitely think that those will hit for you.
Yep. All right, we're moving right along. This game is going to be ugly too. This is a main slate with a lot of slop, guys. The Jets and the Dolphins. I think Miami is just going to destroy them. There's no way the Jets hang.
Yeah.
This game.
Yeah,
I don't even think the Dolphins are that good, but the Jets are definitely that bad.
Oh yeah, the Jets are definitely that bad. If you need a defensive stream, you need to be picking up and redraft. You need to be picking up
Miami.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, I think that this is going to be a slaughter fest. No Waddle, right?
Look at all this chalk, though. Look at all this chalk. Like red projected ownership, 27% for Devontae Parker. I like Devontae Parker too, but yuck.
Yeah,
Myles Gaskin, Mike Gesicki, all these guys, even Michael Carter, who we thought might be a leverage pick coming off the IR. Nope, that's incorrect. Tua, Dolphins defense, and now you get down here where your leverage plays. This is where I like to look. Albert freaking Wilson, 3,400. No Jaylen Waddle. We saw it last time. Albert Wilson was in that spot where Jaylen Waddle usually inhabits, and he put up a nice 14-point performance. And that was with Waddle on the field. They just kind of moved Waddle around that game. Albert Wilson's the sneaky one for me in this game. 2% projected ownership, 10-point projection. I think he's got more upside than that. Yeah, there's your 21-point ceiling according to Run the Sims. That's the guy I want in my GPP lineups there. Albert Wilson, Miami Dolphins, somehow slips through the cracks where nobody else has him because they're all too busy looking at Gesicki and
Gesicki. What was dope about that game tomorrow is that you could stack Tua for 57. Like yep. That's such a beauty, and that could also be another one of those plays that is going to hit for you.
Well, I mean, Parker, Gesicki, and Gaskin, those guys are all chalk city. Tua's chalk city. I'm thinking, yeah, Tua stacked with Albert Wilson. You're sitting really pretty there because they're going to use Wilson in the running game, the reverse game, short passing game, and he's fast enough and he's quick enough to bust off a big long touchdown. I'm all over Albert Wilson tomorrow, including in the clash of the beards and bellies. So pray for me, guys.
Pray for me. I like it.
Are there any Jets that you guys want to play? Is this a
hell no?
No, okay, I figured.
If I take a dart throw, I'm taking it at Braxton Berrios just because he's been getting that target share. And Crowder's my guy, but he's like, the name wide receiver that's left out of that group that's going to get the attention. And I'm not playing him. He hasn't shown up much at all this year with Zach Wilson. He has 2 games in the past 7 with double
Zach Wilson
points.
Like
this year he is, yeah.
I think Zach Wilson's got a fine future ahead of him, but this ain't it.
Like, when's the last time you saw a BYU quarterback go out there and do it? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Well, see, I don't know. Like, maybe
Steve Young was the real one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Steve. Yeah. Steve was the man. I don't know.
Now,
maybe
BYU's got a great quarterback history. It's just when it comes down to Zach Wilson being the number 2 overall pick, the expectations were just simply too high.
On a terrible team.
A team that is rebuilding pretty well. That's just taking a long time because the Jets, from top down, are a terrible franchise.
It's the curse of Broadway Joe that haunts that. It's just like haunts those halls, bro. Like
Yeah, they sold their soul in 1969, man.
And it's just haunted them since. It's worse than the Babe Ruth curse. Just as bad, actually. Well, that lasted like hundreds of years. Never mind.
Yeah, that was 100 years, but at least they got close a few times. The Jets haven't been close.
Been close at all. They're just
They haven't been close since Mark Sanchez was running there.
The butt fumble.
The butt fumble. All right, we're getting done with this boring AFC East matchup that nobody cares about.
Yeah. We
All right, this one I'm interested in because it's the boys.
Poor Robbie having to deal with two Cowboys fans.
Yeah.
Fuck
well, Robbie, I'm
Cowboys.
going to give you the floor. I know you got the fuck the Cowboys right there. That's probably the only thing on your cue card for this game.
All right,
right.
you guys take notes before the show? Like what?
Do you think the Giants have any chance?
No, it's long neck at quarterback, freaking Glennon. Like, no, man, I'm not. No,
Lennon.
No, that's a fan base that needs to be outside of freaking Gettleman's office with torches and pitchforks, bro.
Yeah.
Like, for real. Like that's someone that needs to lose their job. I'm sorry. When it comes to front office, like
Correction, should have never got the job.
Yeah, should have never got the job. I cannot stand David Gettleman. I couldn't stand him when he was with Carolina. I can't stand him now. The Giants stand no shot. The Giants stand no shot at anything as long as that man is around. He's
doing worse than not giving them a shot. He's ruining their shot.
He's ruining their shot.
He did the same thing in Carolina. He ruined that franchise for 2 solid years after he left.
Dude,
they're still putting pieces back together. And the Giants are like, yeah, we want that for us.
I like you guys by the what is it, the 11.5? I'll take it. And go ahead and you're paying up for CD tomorrow. I have no problems with that. I have no qualms with that.
Oh, did you see what he did to James Bradbury, man, last time they played?
Put him in a freaking blender.
Barbecue.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, don't play any Giants. Do not. Saquon is done. Saquon is now a second round talent in redraft. Like, stop it, people, with this whole late second at that. Like,
sounds like a value to me. I'll take Saquon. He's looked decent this year on tape, at least. Performance wise, fantasy wise, no, he's not it. But he looks healthy to me. He's just on a very bad team with no offensive line, no quarterback, no wide receivers, no defense, no coaches, and no GM. So what do you want Saquon to do?
I mean, apparently the Giants want him to freaking put the team on his back and win it all. Like,
Well, when you draft your running back second overall, that's what you get.
I guarantee tomorrow when we look at when we're going through and we're looking at, you're looking at, all right, who's beating me right now? When you're looking at, the whole pool, and you look at the number one roster, there will not be a single New York Giant on anyone's roster that's at the top. Like, it's just not going to be a thing.
Nope. Well, they're saying Sterling Shepard is your best bet, and I'm going to say nope.
I'm telling them that they're drunk. Speaking of which, let me pour another shot.
Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly. I'm like drinking nasty vodka. It's not.
What about
nasty.
the Cowboys? And you got Ezekiel Elliott. It's going to be really popular. He's getting healthier. Tony Pollard, I'm still guessing, even though he's a game time decision. You ever tell your tear plantar fascia, you're done for 3 weeks. There's just no way that Tony Pollard is going to suit up tomorrow.
By the way, Tony's an excellent freaking interview. If you ever get the opportunity, book him, bro.
He's my guy. He's my guy. He's my favorite player, as you know.
Yeah. I don't know if you pay up for Zeke. What, 17% projected rostership?
Him and Naji. I mean, at least Zeke has a good matchup this week, but Naji doesn't. And those are the two guys that are expensive. Like the first guy I'm rostering in DFS at running back is Cordero Patterson in this next game, and he's at 6,900. That's the most expensive running back I'll be playing tomorrow.
You sound like me. You sound like me. Like every freaking morning show on Sundays. I'm like, so we already know what we're doing at running back, guys. Cordero. Like, I always do.
Why wouldn't you? Everybody's like, ooh, the 49ers. Like, yeah, so what? They have a great pass rush with Nick Bosa. Other than that, they're not that special.
And you can always count on a good 6K evaluation on them. If I'm gonna drop 6K somewhere, like 6K, 7K ish, and I'm gonna get consistency out the guy, it's always gonna be Patterson.
High value touches. That's the name of the game. Like catches make I mean they are worth more. Catches are worth more than carries. Cordarrelle's going to get himself 10 carries. He's going to get 5 catches. And he's going to basically be a threat to score a touchdown every single one of those 15 touches. You're not going to see him get more than that in touches, but you know that when he's got the ball in his hands, it's Cordarrelle Patterson.
That man is on Kevin Gates time. That man is on Kevin Gates time. He got 6 jobs. He don't get tired. He's their backup safety.
Right. But think about this. Cordarrelle Patterson and Deebo Samuel are basically the same player, just a few years apart. Deebo's getting all the chalk at 8,200, and I love me some Deebo. I will be close to the field on that 17% figure. But Cordarrelle and Deebo in the same lineup as a leverage play with equal upside as sexy flexies. I mean, these guys are the sexy flexies, and they're in the same game. And I'm in the Bay Area right now, so I get to watch this game live on TV. It's going to be must-see TV. This is a game I'm actually excited to play and watch.
Yeah. Definitely give me the Cordell Deebo setup tomorrow. I think you guys will find her. So you'll find yourselves very happy with that.
Well, look at that. They're each 20%. That's one every 5 simulations run by Run the Sims. They showed up in the optimal lineup. That's pretty damn good. 1 out of 5. You're not going to get much better odds than that. George Kittle up there too at 16.5%, but he's going to be all kinds of popular at tight end. I'm going to be pivoting down to Mark Andrews because he's 1,100 cheaper with the same exact projection in my book.
How do you feel about Jimmy G as a quarterback?
He sucks, but at least he'll be decent.
Well, for DFS here, that's what we're talking about.
5,800. I'd rather go Davis Mills because I want passing upside.
He's about 400 cheaper or something like that.
I can't do it. I was like, I don't know if I want it that ugly. It depends on how much budget I would have remaining after guys like Pat Fry and Deebo and Patterson, of course. But
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I feel myself wanting to lean Tua there.
Yeah, and that's another one. Like in that same range, Jimmy G doesn't have the upside you want. They're gonna run the ball down the Falcons' throats. The Falcons' front 7 does not exist. It's a myth. There is no front 7 in Atlanta. Nate, my guy. Shout out, Nate.
What up, Nate? Yo, I also saw a great said V Tech. That's right. I am a Hokie. Proud all the way through.
Oh, I thought that was a spam link.
I mean, I don't know what the WR is for. I guess I don't know. Maybe we talk about a
Vartech.
Vartech.
Because it's Vartech. Maybe that's
the
accent they have there in Roanoke.
Yeah, exactly. That's a Virginia accent right there.
The Blacksburg accent is like Vartech. Go Hokies.
But no, I'm sorry.
Fuck. All right, we got ourselves the 49ers, I think, are going to handle business pretty easily here. If I'm going Falcons, I'm going to take a couple shots at Kyle Pitts because I'm the guy. You just know, I have to take some dart throws. The dude's got built-in upside just with his athleticism. Do I think it's going to happen this week? Probably not. But Cordarrelle Patterson's the Falcon you want. That's just the way it is.
So while Bo is bragging up Kyle Pitts, I'm gonna tell y'all not to do it. Okay, there, because that's my brand. Every time you bring up Kyle Pitts,
I'm always gonna take a shot on Kyle Pitts every week because he's Kyle Pitts.
It's your guy. I know, man.
It's my boy.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. Homies stick together. You stick with your homie. Yeah. I think it.
Yeah. Other than that, I think I'm sticking to Cordarrelle, Deebo, and some Kittle. No, thank you on the carousel of running backs because Deebo is the running back there, and Mike Davis sucks. So yeah, it's just a mess. So this game is going to be fun to watch, but you're going to just want a couple pieces of it.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan, my guy Connor Coughlin from IBT Media says it's going to be a Matt Ryan this week, and I told him only if he was playing in the CFL, and the Grey Cup was last week, so it ain't going to happen.
Exactly. Yeah. No, not Ryan.
Matt Ryan's been terrible. Just
well, it's not Matt Ryan. Like when I watch the tape, Matt Ryan that looks pretty decent. He's doing as much as he possibly can with what he has. He has no time to throw the ball. This offensive line is bad. Like they are down bad. They are DMing the worst IG models out there. That is the worst offensive line in the NFL. They are down bad. They do not. They're just like the front seven for the Falcons. They don't exist. They're like Chris Herndon. Like you ever seen Chris Herndon play in an NFL game? No, he's just a guy that's on your app to
rob. A touchdown a couple weeks ago, I think.
Did he? I've never seen.
Maybe
him.
It was just a catch, and
I've never actually seen him in an NFL game. So this offensive line is Chris Herndon. They're that bad.
DK wise, like if you look points wise, he had that outburst in week 9, and I think he's had like 12 points or fewer every week since. Yeah. So for what you need from a quarterback,
Matt Ryan ain't it. He's just got no chance behind that offensive line, especially with Nick Bosa coming down his throat this week. It's not gonna help. Moving on, Denver, Cincinnati. This game is gonna make me go to sleep. How Denver's favored in this game? It's just the home 3-point edge here. The home 3-point edge, which makes it basically a pick 'em. It's just preposterous. I think the Bengals are going to destroy them.
Yeah, I think the Bengals are completely gonna annihilate them. This is Vegas just getting real disrespectful towards Cincinnati.
No, this is Vegas getting a whole influx of betting from Colorado because there's so many Homer Denver fans.
Yeah.
And the Bengals are kind of a well-kept secret. They lost in overtime to the 49ers, and what you didn't see was right before that was Joe Burrow leading a masterful drive to tie it and send it to overtime, capitalized by that long touchdown over the top on the fade route to Jamar Chase. Absolute beauty. The whole drive was a beauty. I was impressed. Joe Burrow is the dude. And Denver's defense has been okay, but I think they're just overmatched. They don't have the talent on that side of the ball to match up with the Bengals. And I think the Bengals are going to drop 30, 35 on them, and it's going to be ugly.
Joe Burrow's going to get me a fantasy Super Bowl.
Yes, sir.
Like it's going to be a thing, and I'm completely accepting of it, and
yes,
and
let it happen. Embrace the Joe Burrow.
Embrace it.
The dude's just a winner. Like he's going to do everything he can to win that ball game, and he might come short. But I really do think the Bengals are on their ways to some place. They might make the playoffs this year. They're definitely going to be making the playoffs a few times in the next few years because this team has got too much talent on it to fall short again.
Agreed. I like it.
What are we doing with the running back situation in Denver? Because everybody loves Javonte Williams. Everybody hates Melvin Gordon, even though they've been pretty much the same player this year on paper. You watch the games, you're like, oh, Javonte's a stud and Melvin Gordon's a corpse, but they end up with the same stat line.
I'm big on Javonte. Like it's Javonte for me. So I mean, maybe they get rid of Gordon at the end of the season. Hopefully, we'll have to see how that works out.
Well, what are the projected ownership for both of those two guys? Because I would think Javonte is probably higher, but Gordon, even just coming back, had more touches last week, I'm pretty sure, than Javonte. And I still don't think, even if they get into a game where they have to play from behind, I don't think they're just going to pound Javonte as long as Gordon's there. I think it's going to continue to be a split, and you might be looking at a situation where you can get leverage by going off of him to Gordon.
Yeah, they're predicting a pretty big split here because Melvin Gordon's had a little bit of a nick. He's been nicked up the last couple of weeks with that deep thigh bruise, which doesn't help him. But yeah, 9% for Javonte against Cincinnati, who can be beaten between the tackles. Like they're a fast defensive unit, so running on the perimeter on them doesn't really work. But You got a guy like Javonte that runs with good lean and pad level and bounces off guys left and right. This is a nice little spot for him at only a sub 10% expected rostership. Gordon's a nice leverage play if he's active. He's still a game time decision with that thigh injury.
Okay.
He also picked up a thumb injury last week in that win where they each scored 2 tutties. I like both of them. If Gordon goes, he's going to be a really nice leverage play. But if he doesn't, Javonte's going to feast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always willing to bank on Javonte. I mean, even if Gordon is there, I just feel like Javonte is always 100% going to go off.
Yes, sir. He's too good.
Too damn good. Too
All
damn
right.
good. I feel like you can kind of get away with get away.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We got Jamar Chase here. We got, Burrow's obviously one of my favorite plays. He's only picking up 3%. 3% Joe Burrow. Is that sex? Is that what sex is supposed to feel like? Because I think I want some Joe Burrow at 3%.
Exactly. Yeah, you're gonna want that.
Yeah.
6,100 Joe Burrow against a Broncos defense that's kind of overrated. Like everybody's sleeping.
They've been getting banged up a lot
at the wheel here.
Yep.
Yeah, they got no linebackers left.
They got Jamar Chase. Looking like
Jamar Chase is overpriced. T. Higgins is finally at the right price at 65. I mean, we had weeks where we took advantage of T. Higgins under 6K. Now he's finally about right. But 4% Higgins, 5% Chase, 3% Burrow. I'm smelling a double stack here.
Okay, I like it. Yeah, I would probably do that. I could see myself going Chase, Burrow. Yeah.
Is that beautiful or what? That's just beautiful to me.
It's love. It's definitely love.
Yeah, Joe Mixon's a nice play too. I'm gonna have little sprinkles of Cincinnati Bengals because I think they're gonna flip that 3 pretty easily, and take them to task.
I like that call. I like
staying away from the pass catchers for the Broncos then with Teddy back there.
I mean, I like Jerry Jeudy a little bit, but it's tough because Teddy's been spreading it around too much. Like he's not going alpha dog with Sutton or Jeudy like we want him to. We want him to go and focus on one of those outside guys and just pepper him with targets, and he's just not doing it. And they're both open. They're both worthy of that attention. But Teddy's not that guy. He's not the guy that's going to support 2 top wide receivers, especially with Noah Fant out there running routes. It's just not enough upside for me. I want the guy that's going to have the potential to bust a 20-point performance. And really, the only guy on that team that can do that is Jerry Jeudy.
It's hard to trust Fant too. Albert O. He had 5 targets, 5 catches.
Well, they're carbon copies of
both of them.
Yeah, they're the same guy. Like Noah Fant and Albert O are the same guy. They're the same size, the same speed, same athleticism. Albert O with a different alma mater. He didn't go to tight end university like Fant did, but like we're talking about, they're literally 12 personnel. They have 2 of the same guys created players at tight end position in Madden.
Players.
Like what? Yeah, I want the 6'4" guy that's 250, runs a 4.4. And can catch and block. That's Alberto and Noah Fant. They're both basically created tight ends in Madden.
Yeah, I'd always roll Fant over Alberto. I have Alberto in Dynasty, and I freaking hate that I made that decision because I was underneath this impression that hey, they got Drew Lock and they bring in his tight end to help him, and it's going to be okay. And then neither were a thing. Neither of them have became a thing. So yeah,
no, and Drew Lock's never been a thing.
No.
Noah Fant at 44 is actually a pretty nice little price there, but again, upside. I'm looking for we're trying to win the tournament. We're trying to say, hey, at every single spot, I want the guy that can score 20 plus. Every single spot. I want the defense that can score 20 plus. I want the quarterback that can score 30 plus. Running back, wide receiver. I'm trying to score a ton of points. I'm not trying to get min cash here. I'm not trying to score 170 and get double my money. I'm trying to score 220 and win the whole damn thing.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of which, for those of y'all that are into tickets, they have a FFWC shadow contest. It's a free entry. That's 505 tickets. So you could get some cash and you could get some tickets with that one. So just want to kind of throw that out there for tomorrow, that there are some free contests that you could get in and maybe win some cash and win some tickets. So $1,000 for first place, and then you also get 505 tickets. So yeah.
All right, let's wrap up this slate walk with a pretty nice game. I think it's going to be a good one. Packers and Ravens from Baltimore. Packers are giving away 7 points here on the spread on the road. That's essentially a 10-point spread. Packers are looking good. They look like the best team in football right now. Overall, offense, defense, special teams, they don't have really any weak spots. The Ravens have plenty of weak spots, but they also have Lamar Jackson, even if he's not 100%. Craig, what's your feel on this game?
I do think, and maybe it's the Packers blinders from just living up here in Wisconsin, constantly hearing it, but I do think the Packers probably win this. And I really Devontae Adams is obvious, but I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a great game too, because that secondary.
Sorry to interrupt, but Jonathan Taylor just busted a long touchdown run.
Of course he did. Of course,
2:01 left in the game, and JT just went very long time, like big.
Well,
play.
Twitter will finally be able to take a sigh of relief and not have to worry about.
I think Twitter's going to have to shut down to clean up the cum on the
ground. Hey, that scene in South Park with Kyle's dad.
That's the meme we're looking for. Is fantasy football Twitter when JT busts off a 70-yard touchdown in the fourth quarter. To finally hit the number that he was looking for.
Oh my god!
So that put him with around 100 yards to almost 200 yards and the touchdown. So everybody who played JT, including myself, you can relieve yourself.
Take a lap around the house, get some fluids in you.
I'm gonna sit on a block of ice here. You were saying about the Packers, Craig?
Yeah, so I last I saw it was earlier tonight. Chuck Clark was still on the COVID list, which was their best safety at this point. And their top two cornerbacks are out. They're looking at starting Anthony Averett and Brandon Stevens, who are just not NFL starting cornerbacks at all. And I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a heyday. Calais Campbell had been questionable. He probably plays, but he's getting older and they don't have a whole lot else on their defensive line. This just isn't the Ravens defense that people are used to. And I think Rodgers is going to carve them up, quite honestly.
Sounds a lot like my Picante's article in the preseason, to be honest, where I predicted the Ravens defense would be meh, and I predicted the Packers would be the best team in football. Man, I hate being right. Robbie, what do you think?
It's a heavy burden, Bo.
I'm rolling Packers as well. I think that it also I think it behooves the Baltimore Ravens to play with caution when approaching if they are going to make a decision on starting Lamar or not. With all of the injuries and things of that nature, and they're going to be sitting in the playoffs. They're going to get in the playoffs. So I would approach that way with caution. But give me Green Bay. I have this weird feeling in my stomach, and maybe it's the liquor. Give me MVS. Give me MVS and tomorrow night. I think that MVS could
definitely the liquor. Yeah,
I think
Robbie
MVS could go
obviously drunk off his ass here because MVS, no way, Jose. I'd rather have.
I can see it.
If you can actually catch one of them, sure.
That's the point. Yeah, that's the point. Is MVS every single game gets a busted coverage on a deep post, and every single time Aaron Rodgers throws him down the field, it's usually on the money. But you get that one play a game where MVS either catches it for a long touchdown or it clanks off his hands, and you're like, oh yeah, that's why we don't play MVS.
Nope. No, I feel
you're saying he catches it tomorrow.
I think he gets the dime tomorrow, and I can see him getting in the end zone. I think that's the play that if you're sitting top 5, you're sitting there, you're staring, and you're like man, I just need a couple extra points, I just need it. I think that's the play that puts you from that 5th spot, that 10-5 spot, up into first place, because it's super contrarian. That no one is playing him.
Yeah, because nobody's that dumb.
2% ownership. But on the other hand, I mean, 2%. Who else would you take? I mean, Lazard.
What's crazy is Devontae is going to be 21%, and it's still a leverage spot because he's going to be he showed up in 26% of the optimal lineups, guys. How is a guy that's 21% owned still a leverage play? That's Devontae Adams, everyone. So you definitely don't want to miss. You don't want to miss out when Devontae Adams takes a dump because he's going to obliterate the secondary.
What concerns me about that is if you're going with Devontae Adams, what I want you guys at home to do, I want you to be thinking about other places that you can get different, because like you're seeing that 21% there on Devontae. Everybody's going to be playing him. Everybody's going to be playing him.
Everybody.
So you're going to need some other plays to kind of separate yourself, So maybe if you're going to pay up for Devontae, and let's say you don't pay up for Aaron Rodgers, for whatever reason, let's say you don't go with the stack. Maybe you pay down at quarterback and then you can have, how we were talking about the Tua thing. Maybe you go Tua and then you can have Devontae Parker in the lineup later. That'll be enough to maybe set yourself apart from the pack. Just be careful playing those guys that are super commonly rostered.
That's true. Except Devontae Adams doesn't apply there. I'm going to say he's the exception to the rule. But yeah, in general, you're right.
Yeah, that's why you get different in other places. You get different in other places. Yeah. Don't worry, Devontae Adams will be in one of my rosters tomorrow.
How about Aaron Jones? That's a nice leverage play there because I don't think the Ravens are that good up front either. Like this might be a spot where
splitting with Dylan more though, like he has been.
But who's to say that both of them aren't viable? Because Dylan's.
Oh, I agree, they could.
Yeah, Dylan's still getting he's getting more touches. I mean, especially the last game because it was Jones's first one back. They gave Dylan the way more work, twice as much target volume and touches than Aaron Jones. But Aaron Jones is the one that scored twice. So I think it's back to more of a 50-50 split this week, and they're both capable of scoring touchdowns. And against pretty low rostership, I think we're looking at something that could be pretty special here. Aaron Jones picking up 10%, AJ Dillon 4%. I don't hate either one of them because they both have upside.
Yeah, I like the call there. This is a game where I probably would toy around with a couple of different style lineups.
Yep.
I toy around with a couple of different things because you have so many options.
Yeah, I'm all about this game as a stacking option. I love the late window stack where I can kind of feel around where I can leave my flex spot open for the late window for one of the stacking options and pieces. I'll have Aaron Rodgers in there. Or I'll even throw in because Lamar Jackson's picking up almost no popularity. Where is it? Huntley? I guess they're not.
I think it's gonna be Huntley tomorrow.
They're not even showing Lamar Jackson, so he must have got ruled out recently. At the same time, Tyler Huntley is not a bad option. He completed a high percentage of his passes. The Packers defense is good, but they're more of a bend but don't break defense. They'll give up some points. They'll give up some yardage for sure. And I love Mark Andrews in this game. I'm all over Mark Andrews, especially only 7% rostered, 1,100 cheaper than Kittle, who's going to be twice as rostered. Mark Andrews is my tight end player of the week.
I like it. My tight end player of the week is Pat Fry, but I like it.
Kenny Clark looks to be out too, and I mean he's the guy on the Packers defensive line. So without him, they got a whole bunch of sort of just nobodies from you talking about perspective for defense fantasy football.
I'd rather start Tyler Huntley than Jimmy G. Let's just say that.
Yeah, fair enough. Mm-hmm. They have a weird linebacking core as it is too. I mean,
Konami code.
But it's like they're trusting Devondre Campbell to be the main linebacker for them. They'll have opportunities for guys to run on them for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Tyler Huntley, huge leverage play here. Look at that 61% boom rate for Tyler Huntley, and he's not going to be rostered at all tomorrow. There you go. Do your Tyler Huntley and Mark Andrews stack. Run it back with Devontae Adams. That would be my stack of the week. Boom. Book it. Tyler Huntley,
Spicy.
Mark Andrews, running back with Devontae because you want to. You want to party. That has been the Slate Walk. Oh, the Slate Walk. Take a little turn on the Slate Walk. Brought to you by Run the Sims. Now we have ourselves. We're going to move over to Occupy Fantasy and build a lineup.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's build one.
Let's build one.
My favorite thing to do. Bro, I gotta say, some of my hand builds be beating out some of my simulations. Like I'm not trying to be that guy, but I'm gonna be that guy. Like we're on chalk block right now.
Yeah, block that chalk.
But my hand builds get pretty sick. Sick.
For a guy who only hand builds, and I build my own projections, and I use these tools from Occupy and Run the Sims basically to figure out where leverage might be.
Yep.
And to pivot off of high ownership players that aren't projected for as much upside. That's what I use these tools for, but I'm a hand builder. Like I don't like relying on other people's projections because I trust myself more. And I am that guy. Don't be bashful about it, Robbie. If you're that guy, be that guy.
Yeah, I am that guy. Let's give the fans at home, something that they can put in tomorrow. I think we're gonna win some people some money with this.
Yeah, we're going to enter this shit here. Everybody is encouraged to enter this lineup, hopefully in a single entry tournament that we're not all in together, so we don't dupe it and take it down and have to split the pot because that would suck. So maybe if you want to pivot off of one of our plays here to make it different, we're going to build one here.
That Patriots game, Fantasy. That Patriots game, I played the showdown contest for that one, and tell me why 8 people copied my fucking hand build, bro. We all had to split. I was pissed. Yeah,
I took down a small tournament here, thanks to having pretty much everybody who scored. It was great, and my captain spot wasn't that pretty. But I still won, looking good. Anyway, we got ourselves Occupy Fantasy building the Millie Maker lineup. Feel free to enter it in whatever tournament you want. You can enter it at 50-50 if you want. If you want to be ballsy and play the chalk block lineup. We got ourselves Rum Boys Robbie. We got Roto Heat Craig. All right. Who wants to start off? What are we starting with? Running back? What are we starting with? Stack? What are we starting with, guys?
Craig, what would you do here, man?
I think we talked about it early on, but I mean, to me, if you want to get value money wise, just James Robinson to me is a guy that I'm playing all over with how little he has, and that they're going to be running it, and you can run on Houston. I think he's a great play to get you. He'll be chalky. I know it's chalk blocked, but it frees up money for other spots for us.
And it's not a terrible play because 22% isn't going to be terrible. Like if you're going to be chalky, guys out there, if you're watching, if you're listening. If you're going to be chalky, make it at running back because you want your stacks to be what sets you apart. You want your stacks to break the chalk.
I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. That
being said, we probably want to make our second running back a little less chalky. We can revisit that. Do you guys want to build a stack here?
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get us a stack. I know that you did not like Devontae Parker, but give me Tua and Parker.
Man, we're getting really chalky these days. This is supposed to be chalk blocked, guys.
I know, but I want to win money. I want to
Tua
win
is
money.
the chalkiest play on the board here.
I mean,
all right. Parker, you said?
Yeah. Either Parker or your guy Wilson that you were wanting to go with, but I definitely like a Miami stat.
All right, I dig it. We're gonna have to pivot to some. I mean, we're saving tons of money, so if we want to get the low-owned studs, that would be where we go. Let's go, Devontae Parker. Wilson has a higher index and lower rostership and lower price. So can I make the executive decision to make this stack with Wilson?
Do it. Make it with Wilson because you're going to need the contrarian pick.
Yeah, and if Occupy thinks that Wilson's the better play, then I believe him because they've been on the money all season long.
Yeah, and I don't think you could get more contrarian on this offense than that play right there.
And now we have all kinds of salary money to play with here.
Oh yeah.
And let's go get some studs, boys.
Yup. Do you want to lock in Cordell because you were mentioning that you were high on him?
Yes. And he's not chalky. I'm going to go ahead and add 2 guys to this. I'm adding Devontae Adams, and I'm adding Cordero Patterson. Even though he's a sexy flexy. Hashtag not a running back.
3%.
Hashtag
boom. Boom, baby.
Go.
Boom, baby. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that.
Oh.
That is beautiful. So because it is a GPP lineup, I'm most likely going to either go double tight or 4 wide because I don't think there's much upside in going 3 running backs, especially not this week where the slate's pretty against that.
Yeah.
So we have the Miami game pretty locked up. We have the Texans.
Aj Green, bro.
Aj Green, baby.
Yeah, we were hyping him up. I feel like we should rock that. We were showing him some love, so yeah.
AJ Green, yep. Kirk is too chalky. Rondale, I don't see it. I just don't see it.
I don't see it in Rondale. Yeah.
Like 41 point. Like we just hyped up your index occupy, but Rondale ain't it this week. I love the kid. He's a really fun player to watch, but this ain't the week. I like a piece of that offense too because AJ Green is a big, tall, athletic receiver. I just love it. That's oh yeah. So now we can go. I mean, do we want?
Well, we go to the tight ends to see what we got there if we want to go double tight end.
Tight end. Let's undo the occupy is great because you can filter by team, filter by position. It's super easy to check and uncheck your boxes. Go back to your main screen. Let's go tight end. Oops, not all.
Pat Fry, bro.
Let's see. I'm going to go back to see what kind of salary we have left here. We have 49.33 average left. That's going to go up a little bit with their defensive pick. I'm not against Freiermuth here. I think if you're against doing the Mark Andrews thing,
I don't see how you can be against Andrews or Freiermuth this week.
Freiermuth is not graded very well on Occupy.
They're bugging.
Oh, and they have him down below Pharaoh Brown.
They are bugging, bro. They are for.
Damn, they don't like your boy.
Wow. I mean, I like the Knox play too.
Knox. Now Carolina's been pretty tough on the tight ends, though.
Yeah. I mean, fuck yeah, pay up for Mark Andrews. They like your boy Andrews this week.
And, well, we're talking about before Travis Kelce went absolutely thermonuclear bonkers on Thursday. Mark Andrews was your tight end 1.
Yeah,
6,400 is nice.
Nice.
So let's go defense for flex. So we see what we have left for flex.
I like it.
Is there any defenses that stand out to you guys this week? Besides Miami,
Arizona. Oh,
right.
I like Dallas. I think they're
Dallas. I like San Francisco a little bit with the Matt Ryan thing. They like Pittsburgh for some reason.
I want to know. I'm curious. Can we go Dallas and go Amari? If we could go Dallas close. And Amari,
I think Cowboys might be too expensive. Yeah, we only have 48 left.
Shit.
If we go Dallas and we have 48, there's a couple guys in that range that I like for flex. Dallas is such a good defensive player. You know they're going to take one to the house. Right.
Yeah,
Remember, we're trying to win this damn thing.
Yeah, take Dallas defense because I do believe that a defense can win you the whole thing tomorrow. Like I think
Most
that
of
a defense
those, most of the time, if you're in the Millie Maker, the ones that win it all hit all the nuts on the positions, but they also have that defense that scores 20 points because they had a defensive touchdowns. And it could be random. Like last week's Millie Maker winner, there was no correlation whatsoever. They ran Taysom Hill naked and had a bunch of random players thrown in, but they were the best plays. And that's what you should always play the best play that you can find. That one in particular didn't have any stacking or correlation. And sometimes it flows that way.
Yeah. Would you? Shit. I'm trying to think where we can go at 48. Gallup. I feel like you need a Dallas receiver.
You can get the hell out of here with that. Barry Slayton's not a good football player. Gallup is 5,500, so no.
Damn it. Bateman at 5K.
Visca, Rondale. They want Rondale in there for some reason. Robbie, 4,800 on the dot. But yeah, Buffalo's defense is scary good.
Yeah.
Khalif, Michael Carter. Even though I'm not
interesting.
Yeah, Miami doesn't really stop the run, and Michael Carter's back. He is a bit chalky. I think
Sutton.
Sutton's there. I'm gonna go sort by price because the index. I'm not liking their index too much this week. After we just talked about how great their index was, and it ain't it.
All right, let's see what we got.
Look how easy it is to sort, man. I love this site. I use this site all the time. All right, so you got yourself all these guys, 4,800 and below. Robbie and Ty Johnson, Matt Breda.
I mean, you had talked about double tight end, and if you guys liked Freiermuth, I mean, you can fit him in there.
Yeah,
Freiermuth is in there. Oh man, that would make it super different. There he is.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Not three tight end or three.
Yeah, Royce. Royce doesn't have the upside I want.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'd
go
Freiermuth, Rondale. Yeah, those are the only guys that have a chance to pop this.
I'm going Freiermuth.
Let's do it.
Yep.
All right, there it is, boys and girls. We didn't go 3-by-1, but we're going high risk with the ownership greater than 20%, running back 1 and 2, and we have at least one player with less than 10% ownership. There it is. Your stack with Tua Tagovailoa, Albert Wilson. Your running backs are J-Rob in his Remember Me game.
Yep.
Yeah, remember me? I'm the guy that was a stud until Urban Meyer got here and said I wasn't a stud. And Cordero Patterson, don't call him a running back, don't call him a receiver. He's a sexy flexy. Devontae Adams, enough said. Best in the game.
Yep.
Aj Green was the best in the game. He's not too far removed from that. He's been healthy this year. Mark Andrews, tight end 1 before Thursday. Freiermuth, future tight end 1, the way he's playing. And the Cowboys defense, Trey Diggs is probably going to hit his 9th, 10th, and 11th interception of the season against Mike Glennon. One of them is going to the house. Micah Parsons going to have 6 sacks in this game with 3 strip sacks. It's going to be a bloodbath.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I would love to see it. Wouldn't you love to see it, Robbie?
I'm. You know what? I hate that you guys are gonna win, but fuck it, deal with it. You know, I'll deal with it. I'll live.
Hey, we have a mutual hatred for the New York Giants, at least.
Yeah. You know, but I hate you guys.
You guys will get your time. You get your time next week.
I just need you to both lose. I just need y'all to both lose. Can y'all tie? Like, fuck it.
Good.
Yeah. So, Robbie, you want to give out a free lineup here? Let's go.
Yeah. I want to give out. Want to give you guys a free lineup. I am going with a Tua Parker stack in this one. So it's Tua Tagovailoa, Cordell Patterson, James Robinson, Deebo Samuel, Amari Cooper, Devontae Parker, Pat Freiermuth, Dontrell Hilliard, and Dolphins defense.
All right, let's actually put that on paper so people can see it.
Here, let me. I can share the screen.
I got you. Let's build it right
cool.
here.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and then I can actually see all the stuff too that they do.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you need me to read it again, I got you.
So
two
we
is
definitely got Tua.
Yep.
I got to go back to the first page, man. That's right here. First page. Tua's definitely on the first page. He's not down there with Ben DiNucci.
No, God, that dude.
That guy was bad.
I want to talk about film that I hated breaking down. Yep, Tua, Cordell Patterson. J-Rob.
Oh man, this is pretty similar then, huh?
It's a very similar lineup. Like that's why I like that you guys were kind of going through and, yeah, like we had a lot of the same thought processes. Shows me that I'm smart.
So smart. You're a smart fart.
If you want to put in the flex, you can. You can go ahead and go Hilliard as long as you're on that running back page. I know that you're on those running backs right now, so you can go ahead and put in.
That's
Hilliard
okay.
there.
Go ahead with your wide receivers again.
Okay. My receivers were Debo,
nice,
Cooper, and Parker.
Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
And Parker.
I don't think it'll be too high risk, but it's going to be super chalky.
It's a lineup.
Yeah.
Sometimes chalk wins, so you don't want to play bad chalk. Bad chalk is bad. Good chalk is good. It's chalk is neutral. That's why it's chalk.
Chalk, exactly.
It's neutral. It's popular. Everybody can use it. It burns you sometimes. If you have bad chalk, it'll mess you up and you'll lose every time. If you have good chalk, you'll win with everybody else.
Everybody, exactly. Yeah, and then I went Pat. I went Pat Fry. Obviously, I'm like
way down on the. I got to go way down the occupy list to find Pat Fry because they do not like him.
They do not like him this week, which is so weird. But it is what it is. Like we've seen weirder things.
He was over here.
There he is. Oh, he's up a little bit. Yeah, there we go.
Not too shabby.
Dontrell Hilliard.
Hilliard. Ooh, there's your chalk breaker.
Yep. And then Dolphins defense.
Nice. He does not like the Jets, ladies and gentlemen.
I can't stand the Jets. I hate the Jets, which is crazy because I work with a lot of Jets fans too. So yeah. Damn Jets. There you go. There's Dontrell.
Hilliard, that's an interesting one. I like it.
Yeah, his film has been impressive.
It's just weird enough to work.
Yeah, that's why I did it. And then Dolphins defense, and then we're set. Watch them be like, this lineup's not going to hit.
Yeah, you never know, man. 13%, that's not terrible.
No.
All right, there it is, boys and girls. A free lineup by Rum Boys Robbie himself, Tua Tagovailoa, Cordero Patterson, J-Rob, Debo. Oh, we got two sexy flexies in that lineup.
Yeah.
Debo and Cordero in the same lineup. I gotta admit, I got the same sexy flexi duo in a lot of my lineups tomorrow too.
It's gonna get you cash.
Amari Coop 64. That's a value and a half. Devontae Parker is going to get all the volume in the world. 4,300 is a steal. That's a free square. That's why you eat that chalk. That's not blocking the chalk. Devontae Parker is good chalk because he's going to get 10 targets tomorrow from Tua, who doesn't throw incomplete passes because he doesn't throw passes over 5 yards down the field. So there you go. Pat Freiermuth, he's a red zone monster. Dontrell Hilliard, nobody fucking knows who Dontrell Hilliard is, but you're going to find out tomorrow when he has 8 catches for 64 yards on top of 5 carries for 13 yards. And the Dolphins defense against the Jets, it's the Jets. It's Zach Wilson throwing to God knows who now that Elijah Moore's out. Probably a bunch of Michael Carter dump-offs and a couple picks and a couple fumbles. We hope one of them gets returned to the house for a Dolphins score so you can get your nut.
Yup. Oh yeah. Well, they're probably like super high risk, right? They're probably like this lineup's bad.
Hey, it's the ones that make you queasy that usually are the winners. Like we
I
always say that you can't win a Millie Maker feeling good about it. You gotta feel it. You gotta be like, damn, this is fugly on one end, and then you're like, ooh, I like you. You like your Debo Cordero stack, but like, man, the other guys, it's like, ew, gross. That should be disgusting. Like Dontrell Hilliard is disgusting on a DFS lineup. But if that fucker puts off 16, 20 points, you're gonna be like, I told you.
I told you so. Yeah. So I think tomorrow's gonna be a good day. I think we can all win a lot of money. So,
yeah, who'd have known that Robbie's going to put in the third string running back for the Titans against the Steelers and bust that slate?
Hey, you never know.
And he'll bust in that like the JT owners on
Twitter
today.
I will. Oh God.
All
Yeah.
right, let's go around the horn. Craig, tell everybody where they can find you, even though if you do put a face picture on Twitter, he's going to add it to his Rolodex of faces. It's kind of creepy, but it's also really entertaining because he uses them for good. Yeah. The GIF warlord does not has no bias. He just makes funny GIFs of
it's there purely for fun. So if you don't like them, let me know and I'll mark you off my list. But you can find me on Twitter, like you saw at RotoHeat Craig. Mainly it's GIFs and being goofy, but you can find me doing IDP stuff over at rotoheat.com. And on Tuesday nights during the season, I'm on Getting Defensive at 10 p.m. Eastern. It's IDP centric show for waivers, all that sort of fun stuff. So I do answer offensive questions in the event I get them, because of course I play on offense, DFS, fantasy football, but IDP is my main focus for writing.
Then Robbie.
It's your boy Rumboys Robbie. You guys can check us out, rumboys.com. Check us out on YouTube, Rumboys Fantasy Network. Greatly appreciate you for having me tonight, Bo. Make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel and keep supporting Bo and Scott and all their endeavors. And yeah, new merch dropping 2022. So make sure you guys get ready for that, because I'll be filling out our merch store. And check out 32-bit as well. Yeah.
Damn. Is a vibe.
Yes, sir.
Either. Hey, of course, I'm Bo McBrayer. You can find me on Twitter at Bo_McBigTime. I am very, very active on Twitter. I'm writing for multiple outlets. I love writing. I love doing this show, even if Scott's not here, especially if Scott's not here, because I get to produce it how I like to run it with my boys, Robbie, Craig. Check me out. My food company, BigTimeFlavor.co. You can get all the best products, the official site for the most deliciously intense condiment on planet Earth, Hot Box Gourmet Hot Sauce. Of course, my whole line of seasoning blends. Big Time Flavor Co. is the official punch in the mouth of fantasy football. It's known and loved by the community, especially by Field Gates, Matt Harmon, a couple other guys you might have heard of. Stefania Bell's got some. If you don't know Big Time Flavor Co., go on and head over to the website, get yourself ordered up, and while you're there, click on the link to go to Viridian Global, get yourself some fire merch for the fire food that you're going to cook in your house, and everybody's going to be like, hey, you used to suck at cooking. What happened? And you just said, I went big time.
Yes, sir.
It's delicious. Flavor Co., making your mother-in-law's cooking tolerable since 2020.
I love it.
And yeah, your mother-in-law's potato salad will never be the same. So let's just say that it's gonna be flavored, seasoned. Don't miss out getting invited to the cookout.
Make sure you go give Scott some crap when his losing streak comes to an end. Bo puts the smackdown on him this week, so you can find him.
I'm gonna thunder punch him into the ground. It's gonna be like Stelio Contos on American Dad. It's like I'm gonna run from so far away, and then I'm gonna have my theme Stelio Cantos. Yeah, I'm gonna drill him into the ground like Stelio Cantos this week. I'm calling a margin of victory never seen before.
Wow. Calling your shot.
Call your shot. You never lose. I like it.
Yeah. All right. That's been Chalk Blocked, everyone. Thank you for joining us. From Craig and Robbie, I'm Bo. Have a good night.
Peace.